Hi guys, and welcome back to the Tech Cave. In this video we're going to look at how to open up vintage gaming cartridges. So we're going to look at Super Nintendo, N64, Megadrive and Master System. I'm going to share with you the tools that I use. I'll share a link actually where you can get hold of those for yourselves. And yeah, we're just going to look at the process of opening up vintage gaming cartridges. This is useful if you want to change the backs, if you've got a cart with a broken back or a faded back. It's very simple to do as long as you've got the right tools. So in a sec I will flip the view and I will show you the process. Okay, so here we have a selection of cartridges. I'm also going to show you Game Boy as well, I forgot to mention that. And these are the tools that I use. These are fairly easy to get hold of. I will put a link in the description below. There's two different sizes. The smaller of the two, this one, I don't know if it's going to focus. It's kind of like a little star shape almost. The smaller fits Super Nintendo. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the screw in there. It's really tiny. N64 is exactly the same fitting. And Game Boy. And then the larger of the two, the link that's below is a link to a listing where you can buy both of these. There you can see just about, it's like a little star shape. This larger one fits Sega, so you've got Megadrive and Master System. Some Master System games have a standard Phillips screw in, as you can see there. So it's showing. See, so with a standard Phillips screwdriver you can get that out, but they switch to using these little star-shaped kind of safety screws later on. So the process is really quite simple. Let's start with this. This is an N64 cartridge. You've got just two screws at the top. Like I said, the Nintendo ones take the smaller of the two fittings. And then it's simply a case of unscrewing both. Like so. Now the bottom part of the cart is held on with these little clips. So you have to kind of pull it forward to release it. And then there you have the inside. So if you have a damaged back portion, you can simply find a cheap cart that you're not worried about, take the back off the cheap cart and replace it over. Job done. So to put it back on, these little lugs here, they have to clip into these little holes, like so. Once it's in place, it's a case of simply screwing it back in. And it's basically exactly the same for Super Nintendo, apart from the fact that the screws are on the front. So this is an example of one that I'm going to change. You can see the difference between the front and the back. The back is really faded. And what I plan to do, it's also got damage on it. It's got damage on the label here. This is a cheap game that's worth a couple of pounds at best. This is Striker. But it has exactly the same back with exactly the same sticker, and it would improve that game no end in my opinion. I mean, it's funnily enough, it is slightly faded. I've probably got a better example. I'll probably find a better cart to do this, but the point is, wrong hole, it's exactly the same as the N64. Take out these two screws. I don't think I've gone far enough. There we go. Let me just get this one out of the way. And this one. And it opens up. Again, it has these little lugs at the back which slot in and under. So it's kind of a down and up motion. Or, you know what I mean. they have to locate in there before you can close it. And then inside you have the circuit board, which pops out like so. You don't have to worry about have I got it in the right way or the wrong way, because they only fit one way, because you have this little part here which clips into this little recess here, so it only fits one way. And you can see the build up on this cartridge on the contacts of grime on here. I tend to clean cartridges before I sell them on. I'm going to do a video about that as well, to take off all this residue that builds up on here. But if you're just changing the back, yeah, basically you would take apart the cartridge you're going to use as a donor cartridge and then put it back together, but just swap the backs over. So putting it back together is as simple as laying that in. As I say, you can only put it in the correct way around because of these two little parts here that hold it in place. And then you have to get these little lugs to go in the little holes like so. Once it's shut flat, screw the screws back on. So that's Super Nintendo. Game Boy, and it's the same with Game Boy Color. You have one screw in the middle on the back. Just move these screws out of the way. Now this is handy if you're going to try and change out the battery on a Pokemon game, because you need to be able to get in, and again you will need one of these specialist tools. Now with Game Boy games, with these classic Game Boy games, you have to slide it, there you go, you have to slide it upwards and then pull it out. So it has these little lugs on the side here which locate into these little L-shaped holes on the side. So it has to go in and then slide along. And then inside again you just have the small circuit board, and again I don't know if you'll be able to see in the light, but that's absolutely filthy. And simple as that. With these, there's this little raised circle there which holds the board in place like so. So you can't put it in the wrong way around, and then putting it back on, the top drops in and then it has to slide backwards to be in place, and once it's in place just put the screw back in. Simple as that. And like I said, on some Master System cases, is that going to show, you've got a standard Phillips screw head there, and others you'll have one of these little safety screws, but this is the bigger of the two. And with these, it's not rocket science. Might as well show you while we're here. Two screws on the back, and it lifts straight off, and there's the tiny little circuit board inside. And again, there's no fear that you're going to put this the wrong way in, because these two little lugs that hold it in place are off center. So if you try to put it in the wrong way up, it just wouldn't go. That's that. So that's a Master System. And Megadrive, oh, wrong tool. Again, the bigger size of the two tools. Crack open these two screws. Like so. And it's pretty much the same. Although thinking about it, you can, yeah, it's the same here. You can't put it in the wrong way around, because if I try to put that in the wrong way around, it doesn't actually fit in this recess here. See, it's sticking on that bit. So again, it's kind of foolproof in that it only lets you put it back in the right way around. So if you take this out to clean it or whatever, don't panic, you can't put it in the wrong way. And that's all you've got in there, basically one big chip. Okay, so that's that. And obviously to put it back on, it's just the reverse of what we just did. So there you go. So these are the tools that I use. There will be a link below to a place where you can get these really cheap. Some sellers do sell them just the one. You can either buy the smaller one on its own or the larger one. But I found that a listing that sells both, it works out cheaper. And if you're going to do this, you might as well just buy both. So that's that. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye for now.